Welcome. You're watching the India Development Debate. I'm Tamanna Inamdar. Now, if you've been tracking the unfolding drama between Mumbai and Bengaluru today, in the middle of that heart-wrenching match, of course, and wondering what is going on with the Congress party, it only gets worse. While Congress leaders have spent the day trying to keep their government in Karnataka afloat, 10 of 15 of their MLAs in Goa have quit and joined the BJP, pretty much decimating the legislative party in that state. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi has spent the day in Amethi meeting supporters, his first visit there after he lost the parliamentary seat. The leadership crisis in the Congress couldn't have come for the party at a worse time. But serious questions have been raised about our politics too. Why are elected leaders, in this case MLAs, so happy to switch sides because of waning power in their party? Are leaders like this, who only look at where their bread is buttered, what Indian citizens deserve? And should the BJP even accept MLAs into their fold who switch depending on which way the political winds are blowing? Of course, the biggest questions of all are reserved for the Congress party that is currently staring at an existential crisis and doesn't seem keen to do much about it. To speak more on the fast-paced political developments of the day, I'm joined now by Malvika Avinash, spokesperson of the BJP, Rashid Kidwai, political commentator and keen Congress watcher, Alok Prasanna Kumar, senior resident fellow at the Vidhi Center for Legal Policy, and I'm also speaking today with R. Sriram, resident editor at the Economic Times. Welcome to all of you. But before we start the debate, I just want to play out for you a statement by the Goa Chief Minister just a short while ago, announcing the addition of Congress MLAs to the fold.
MLA उनके अपोजिशन लीडर के साथ भारतीय जनता पार्टी में मर्ज हो चुके हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी की स्ट्रेंथ जो 17 थी अभी 27 हो गई है। They had come for the development of the state, development of their constituency without directly joined to the Bharatiya Janata Party. ऐसा कुछ कंडीशन रखा हुआ है?
All right, let's just look at the developments of the day, and I'm going to start with Rashid Kidwai because so much has moved through the day today. What is the big picture coming out of here? Because between Mumbai and Bengaluru, there were some really bizarre scenes. Mumbai, especially with DK Shivakumar trying to get into a hotel, thrown out, taken back to Bangalore. Meanwhile, the Congress doesn't seem to really know how to stem this ever-increasing crisis, isn't it? Can you hear me, Mr. Kidwai? Yes, can you hear me? Yeah, that question.
Yes, I heard. Yeah, just the last part I could not hear. See, there is a huge, Tamanna, there is a huge, crisis of confidence that is taking place following not only that, May 23rd verdict of Lok Sabha, but exit of Rahul Gandhi. Remember, the Nehru Gandhi family is like a, glue to the Congress party. Many congressmen away from Delhi cannot reconcile to this fact that, Nehru Gandhi, members of Nehru Gandhi family will not be, party president. So this is a kind of, emotional disconnect and resulting in this kind of exodus from the Congress, whether it's in Karnataka or in Goa. I expect that this may happen in other states also. It is very important for the Congress to get its act together, have some kind of alternative arrangement in place, and Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi must be seen as kind of hands-on politician. They may not be part of the Congress office bearers, but they should behave and act with responsibility.
No, it's an absolute mess right now, and the story coming in from Goa over the last few hours has shown that the implosion is getting even worse. Malvika Avinash, I want to ask you, and of course the Congress party no longer sends representatives to debates like this, so they don't answer questions. The BJP does, so the question politically comes to you, Malvika, about why the BJP is keen to entertain MLAs like this, who get elected on one ticket and then want to hop over whenever they see fit. We just played out the soundbite from the BJP Chief Minister in Goa, Mr. Pramod Sawant. You should not take and entertain these people.
You see, these are MLAs who, for whatever reason, were elected while they were in the Congress party and have completely lost confidence in the functioning of their party because the party is now headless. Ever since Mr. Rahul Gandhi resigned, there has been a lull and no one seems to want to take on the mantle, or perhaps the party itself is not ready for anyone other than Gandhi to be leading it. And therefore, it is but natural that these MLAs will have to look for some kind of stability in their own political careers, as well as in the development of the constituencies that have elected them. And
Yeah.
what's wrong if they join the BJP and want to contribute to the building of the nation?
No, it's not about whether they want to join the BJP. It is why they're joining now. They have fought on another party. Doesn't it smack of political opportunism, Miss Avinash? Don't you see it? Here, there are allegations that, of course, a lot of these MLAs are being lured by the BJP. They want, a finger in the pie. They want to be with a party which is in power. Do you think they're doing this out of yeoman service because they really want to serve the nation, or they want to be with the side which is more powerful? I'm saying, why entertain political opportunists?
No, I cannot speak for the MLAs who have decided to quit the Congress party. I am sure they have enough reasons to do so. However, what I can say on behalf of the BJP is that this kind of exodus cannot be based on some kind of luring that comes either by offering them money or posts. You see, 15 people resigning it cannot be orchestrated by the BJP. This is out of their own free will, and if they are willing to join the party and work for the betterment of the constituencies, why not? In Karnataka as well, repeatedly the Congress has been saying that the BJP is responsible. How can the BJP lure 15 people and 16 people? Is it possible? You tell me.
And we don't know what's the status
And the
of the
tallest of their leaders quit and come.
Yeah, and we don't know what's the state of the 10 in Goa. The leader of opposition has also jumped ship. Alok Prasanna Kumar, in this situation, constitutional roles become very crucial. Whether it's the speaker in the Karnataka Assembly, whether it's the speaker in Goa, whether it's the governors in both states. And the issue is that these individuals, of course, hold constitutional roles, but they are nominated and stem from political parties and political backgrounds, which is why all their decisions are looked at very carefully. Is that what is the most important part of this unfolding story, whether these constitutional positions are really respected?
I want to take one step back and talk about the Constitution itself. If you talk about the 10th schedule, which was supposed to put an end to such sort of defections, what has happened is that in the last 2 decades, parties have found a way to render it basically pointless. And unfortunately, way back in '94, Justice Verma had, in his dissenting judgment in a famous case, said this is exactly what's going to happen. I think the 10th schedule is fundamentally defective. The 10th schedule of the Constitution, far from putting an end to defections, has only made it easier. What we are sort of seeing is that is a natural conclusion of the process set in place with the 10th schedule, that MLAs have become irrelevant. I think what this sort of shows is that MLAs function now is to go to the legislature and press the button as per the party's whip, and they have no real role to play insofar as actually debating or taking a position or listening to their constituents. As long as they ensure that money flows to their constituency in whatever way possible, and as long as they vote in accordance with the direction of the party whose whip, they stay in power. There's no position for that. There's no place for them to take principled stands. And it's not. This is political party agnostic. I think we have seen across political parties that MLAs have been. Sorry, there's a lot of disturbance. I can't really hear myself also.
We can hear you, Alok. We can hear you very clearly.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, just finish your
Yeah,
point.
so just to complete my point.
Yeah.
Yes, the position of governor has been defective. Yeah, the position of governor has been defective since 1951. I think it was a continuation of a colonial construct to control state governments. So it's not as if it's a new phenomenon happened in the last 5, 10, 15 or 20 years. And the 10th schedule also is a defective set of provisions, which has essentially rendered our MLAs just voting, just members who turn up in parliament and vote. They have stopped being representatives in any real sense. So therefore, there is no real affiliation. It sort of went along for a while there was a coalition government. And in fact, this process has been happening at the state governments for a much longer period of time. In fact, this exact process has been taking place in Telangana and in Andhra 5 years ago, when almost half the opposition went over to the ruling party for whatever reason. I mean, we know the reasons, they're fairly obvious. So, which is why this is a long-term thing which is finally coming to fruition, and
which is why today I want to sort of take a step back and look at what's happening right now, and you know how we have really normalized this rampant opportunism in our everyday politics. It's almost we look at it with mirth. And I want to bring in R. Sriram here. All through the day, it's been highly entertaining for people to see, you know, one top Congress leader saying that I have a booking in this hotel, so please let me go in. Then the cop saying no, but the MLAs inside are scared of you. He says, I have no weapon but my heart. We're all very highly entertained by it. But the fact is, how damaging is it for our democracy when MLAs who are who have been elected standing for a certain party are just so happy to jump ship, and major parties, today it's the BJP, before it has been other parties as well, are happy to bring them on. They pay no price for this opportunism.
Well, I think Tamanna, the bigger issue here really is the slow motion implosion of the Congress party. I think what we are seeing, especially after the Lok Sabha elections, is that the Congress party, which was hoping to do very well, which wanted, at one point probably thought that it will get more than 100 odd seats, has been left stranded with about 52 seats, and there doesn't seem to be really much of a future for the party. This is what most of its cadre, most of its workers, most of its MLAs seem to feel. Now, what we are seeing now is that, I mean, I think one of the other panelists also mentioned the case of Telangana. We had a very strange situation in Telangana where a lot of the Congress MLAs just walked over to the TRS. We've had a situation in Maharashtra where a lot of the Congress leaders and the MLAs and the local workers have been moving over to the BJP and the Shiv Sena. Now you're seeing it in Karnataka. I think what this is really something that should worry the Congress, and this is something that should worry the country's polity, because you are seeing the country's biggest opposition party, I mean the single biggest opposition party now, slowly losing its luster, losing its cadres, losing its workers, and being decimated across in various states. And these are not small states that we are speaking of. Telangana is probably small, but it's an important state. Karnataka is a very big state. So I think the important issue here is that can the Congress leadership really get their act together quickly? Because it's important that they do so, because they need to keep their flock together, and they need to probably live to fight another day. And if they can't do that, then it's really they are handing over the battlefield over to the BJP and to the various other parties, and that's going to be bad for them, and it's going to be bad for India's democracy, because you really do have an opposition that is supine, that is powerless, that is unable to fight, that is unable to do anything. I think that's really the bigger issue here. The Congress really needs to get its act together. They need to end the leadership drama in Delhi. They need to have a face. They need to tell the people that, look, okay, we've had a bad election season.
Point.
Now let's pick the pieces up together and live to fight another day.
No, that's a very important point. It's a very important point.
I think that's what they really need to do.
Yeah, that's a very important point as well. And of course, the quality of our elected representatives, of course, is another huge point. But Rashid Kidwai, why don't you come in on the point that R. Sriram just made, that the Congress is not even trying. The Congress is not even trying. Like, look at what happened in Mumbai this morning. D. Shivakumar landed outside the Renaissance Hotel in Powai, and then there was a lot of, sort of prodding on social media, etc., asking where is the rest of the Mumbai Congress. Then their leaders came in. It wasn't even really a concerted effort. It seems very scattered, and at this rate, it's going to be difficult for them to even survive before the next big election, which is in Maharashtra.
Precisely. Tamanna, this is I find it rather, as a student of Indian politics, a rather fascinating phase. There has been a collapse of the Congress. You look at I don't want to get into all those, decline of institutions like, police, hotel industry, and they're all coming together with a, ruling party and trying to help out. That's all, for political parties to sort out. I look at it slightly differently. It's indeed, there has been a, collapse on the part of Congress party. If that happens, and if that just goes, unchecked, a kind of, free fall as we are seeing, you will see, the politics will not, survive, will not go on in vacuum. There will be an alternative, as we've seen in 1970s and 60s. That alternative to Congress came from within the Congress. We are perhaps going to see a situation where the alternative to BJP will come from the BJP. I know it's at this point of time it may sound a bit outlandish, but that's how I see it. The alternative to the BJP will emerge from the BJP. It's just a matter of time.
I want to ask the BJP spokesperson what she thinks of that comment, and as a active politician, what do you think is the commentary that you can see with the opposition party, your primary opponent, completely imploding? Of course, a vacuum cannot remain forever in Indian politics.
No, the Congress party is facing an existential crisis, and I think all the panelists agree on that one point. And they indeed are directionless, they indeed are headless, and somehow nothing seems to be happening on that front. And the Congress really does not seem to be doing much about it, or maybe they are. Anyway, it's entirely their business. What I can say is the fact that the situation in Karnataka is slightly different from what it has been in Goa or elsewhere. One must understand the dynamics of the coalition in Karnataka and why it fell apart. If today the government in Karnataka is coming down crumbling, it's also because of the bickering that was between the two coalition partners, and more specifically, there was as Devegowda called him, Siddaramaiah is the mastermind of this entire process. For him, the agenda was to destabilize Kumaraswamy, to displace Kumaraswamy, and thereby assume power. So, the situation is slightly different in Karnataka. It's not the way it is elsewhere, and DK Shivkumar is putting up that fight in Mumbai on behalf of the Congress party. So, there are multiple dimensions to the current crisis in Karnataka.
Yeah.
However, it's extremely unfortunate that the Congress party should go as far as manhandling an MLA who wishes to resign, which we saw in Vidhana Saudha today, which is extremely shameful and shocking for the president of the Congress party, Mr. Dinesh Gundu Rao, to be, pulling and pushing the MLA, for Priyank Kharge, who happens to be the son of Mr. Kharge, and also a minister in the government, for all of them to be getting into this scuffle, really,
I agree. I agree, Ms. Malvika, but there's so
that
many...
I think the others will have to distinguish from Goa.
Yeah, I agree that that scuffle was totally untoward and terrible, but so much about this whole Karnataka affair has been so sordid. About how, key BJP aides are seen with these rebel MLAs, but the BJP keeps saying it has nothing to do with it. If you do, admit it. Right now, there's no one really judging the BJP for flexing its political muscles. It's the Congress who's fighting an existential crisis. But all eyes will be on court tomorrow as well. And I want to just come to Alok Prasanna on that point, because the rebel MLAs have now moved the Supreme Court, saying that the Speaker isn't accepting their resignation in Karnataka. The Speaker so far comes and says that come in person to give the resignation. Now, how do you think this is going to play out, and how does the legality of it all fit in?
So, as I mentioned the last time, in the context of Telangana and Andhra, petitions had been moved to the Supreme Court as to whether a court can direct a speaker to accept a resignation or disqualify an MP or decide a case. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court hasn't found it fit to decide that case in 5 years. It was supposed to be referred to a constitution bench. That hasn't happened. So, the legal issue has still been left open, which is, even if the Supreme Court says the resignation has been made in the proper format, can it direct the Speaker, who's also a constitutional authority? Remember, the Speaker is not just some government functionary. You can say, do your job under law, whatever it is. The Speaker is also a constitutional functionary who has been vested with certain powers under the Constitution. The open question is whether the Supreme Court can direct a Speaker to do this or that, but the Supreme Court itself hasn't decided this question. So it remains to be seen what the Supreme Court will direct. Obviously, they could, of course, decide that, it doesn't matter, those Telangana and Andhra Pradesh cases have become irrelevant. The need is more urgent in Karnataka, and therefore we'll just direct the Speaker to do whatever. It's the Supreme Court doesn't lay down law anymore. But we'll have to wait and see. That the question of the law has not been decided at all. The Supreme Court has left all these issues wide open.
I think we should also come in here with a comment of what it tells us about the politics of the day and the aggression in the BJP's political outlook. After the stupendous political success they've had over the last 5 years, a massive win in the Lok Sabha, firmly entrenched in 18 plus states, there seems to be an aggression and a hunger for power which has not ebbed at all. Is that now the new benchmark for sort of the political narrative? Yeah, Sriram, that question's for you.
Yeah. So I don't think the BJP's aggression is going to ebb anymore. I don't think it's going to drop in any significant way. I think they have smelled blood after the victory in the Lok Sabha elections. I think they desperately wanted to retain the 3 states which they lost last year. They couldn't do so. In 2 of the 3 states, there is probably very little chance of them coming back to power anytime soon. But Madhya Pradesh, where the main party still doesn't have a complete majority of its own, one will have to wait and see. I don't know whether the BJP will make a move for it, but I won't be surprised if they do. The other state that was really ripe for plucking was Karnataka, because this is clearly a coalition that was in the last legs. This is clearly a coalition that was very opportunistic, a ragtag thing that was just coming together just to keep the BJP out, and it was not expected to last long. And I think the Lok Sabha elections gave the BJP a lot of impetus in the form that they actually won, I think, 26 out of 28 Lok Sabha seats, and the message from the people of Karnataka was very, very clear that we want Modi and we don't want the coalition. So I think now they smell blood and they're going for the kill. I think that's not going to stop, and I think even if the coalition somehow manages to survive this episode and survive this and somehow save the government, I think there is going to be a situation down the line where there's going to be more turmoil, more trouble, more of its MLAs, more of its leaders going out and saying that, look, we don't like what's going on, we want to change, and this is going to happen. This is not going to stop. And this was very clear last year when the coalition actually formed the government. You knew that this was very opportunistic and probably going to be short-lived, because there was no meeting of minds.
Yeah, what I find very interesting, it's a googly of sort in Goa. In Karnataka, like you said, it was ripe for the picking. The Operation Kamla 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have already been put into place. But in Goa, where the Congress is the single largest party but has shown no effort to flex a single muscle and use it, it's like a preemptive strike that before you can even think of any retaliatory measure in Goa, we will cut you down. In that terms, you have to look at how the BJP is thinking ahead, Sriram.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think this was very much clear at the time of the just after the Goa Assembly elections, when you had in 2017, just around the time UP also declared its results, Goa also declared its results, and I think the Congress emerged as the single largest party there. But the BJP was very quick off the wicket. I mean, they went out, they got the coalition partners, they approached the governor and said that, look, we have the numbers now, we can form the government, and Congress woke up late, and we all know what happened. I think Ghulam Nabi Azad was sent from Delhi to Goa to try and somehow manage things, but he couldn't do it. Even now, and this is what I'm saying, this is what I'm coming to, this is the result of the Congress leadership problem, that you had 1 month after the elections, there is no Congress president, Rahul Gandhi has resigned, a lot of the other leaders have resigned, everybody is looking to see what is going to happen, who's going to be the new leader, and while that is happening, everybody's eyes is fixed on 10 Janpath and who's going to be the new Congress president, but at the state level, they are bleeding. They are losing people, they are losing legislators, they are losing cadres, they are losing workers, and nobody seems to be there to stem the rot. This is the huge problem that the Congress is facing. Now, by the time they have the leader in place, well, we don't know what's going to happen. They may probably lose Karnataka, and they may probably lose their entire party in Goa.
No, and the leader so far has made it clear that he wants to move on. Is his party prepared with any kind of a plan B? Meanwhile, it's a free run for the BJP. This is a developing political story that we're keeping an eye on, and we would like to thank all of the panelists for joining us on the first debate this evening on the India Development Debate. When we come back, after this very short break, we're talking about the auto sector. The latest numbers show a 25% drop in domestic car vehicles in the month of June, year on year. It's been bad for 11 out of 12 months. Is it more than just a seasonal slump? How long lasting will this crisis in the auto sector be? I'm coming back with that discussion. Don't go away.